Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this episode, I want to break down MP Materials, ticker symbol MP. Now, MP Materials was originally put on my map late in November after Chamath announced that he's leading the pipe into the company. Now, after a few months, I noticed that a lot of other YouTubers started covering this topic, as well as that the stock price started to appreciate as it began to gain a lot more traction. Now, I believe they did a really good job of actually breaking down exactly what this company is about. However, it just spurred me to want to look into this company myself, as I do think it has a really strong bull case. Now, MP Material owns and operates Mountain Pass, which is the only integrated rare earth mining and processing site in North America. Now, this is really important because rare earth is a critical input for climate change and battery technologies. Today, China dominates the rare earth industry, producing more than 80% of the total global supply. Now, having one single country be able to own this whole entire industrial supply chain is pretty inefficient and pretty detrimental, as they have a lot of say and power over this entire industry. Now, MP Materials is really trying to be the number one player in rare earth in North America, as we really want to get our dependence off of China. With all that said, first, I'm going to be going over what MP Materials is all about. Second, I'm going to be going over their financials and valuation. Third, I'm going to be going over the risk factors. And fourth, I'm going to be talking about what I plan on doing with the stock. So before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys like this content, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. If you guys want some free money or some free stocks, links are going to be down below in the comment section for you guys to go ahead and do that. All you have to do is deposit up to $100 and you can get up to 4 free stocks with Webull. With all that out of the way, let's dive into what MP Materials is all about. MP Materials owns and operates Mountain Pass, the only scaled rare earth mining and processing facility in the Western Hemisphere. Now, they recently completed their business combination with Fortress Value Acquisition Corp on November 17th, 2020, and is now listed on the New York Stock Exchange with the ticker symbol MP. In this deal, they raised $545 million to fully fund a 3-stage business plan to restore the full rare earth supply chain to the US. They're driving the transition to fully green supply chains for electronic transportation. Now, while EV battery technology continues to evolve, NdPr magnets are found in more than 90% of EV motors. Now, these motors can be found in car companies such as Tesla, GM, Ford, Volkswagen, and the list just goes on. EVs are driving explosive growth, as the magnets for electric powertrains are expected to grow 15 times in the next decade. The EV motor magnet market is around $710 million as of 2020 and is expected to reach $10.7 billion in 2030. Now, the supply chain demands a Western Hemisphere supplier. We can clearly see that most of the magnet producers are in China, and MP Materials is really the only one player in North America. So MP's strategy is to become a fully integrated market champion, and they plan on achieving this by a 3-phased approach. Now, the first stage is mining processing, which is already complete. Their second stage is refining and separation, which is planned to be done by 2022. And stage 3 is metal making, alloying, and magnet making, which is due by 2025. Stage 1, rare earth concentrate production, is already complete, and they're currently producing approximately 15% of global rare earth content. This annual production is 3.2 times that of their predecessor, as they made substantial improvements through throughput, recovery, and uptime driven by current management. Now they're focusing on stage 2, which is separated rare earth oxides. Now, in this stage, they're trying to optimize and leverage the inherent benefits of the ore body, which significantly lowers the costs while improving reliability and reducing the environmental footprint. And their goal is eventually to reach stage 3, which is downstream expansion. This would be an opportunity to create the only scaled, fully integrated Western Hemisphere supplier of rare earth magnetics via a buy, build, and/or GV strategy. As the demand of EV powertrains and other battery technologies increase, they're really trying to bump up their production to be able to reach that capacity. So now diving into the financials, they have significant revenue and adjusted EBITDA growth. The Q3 revenue was $41 million, and their EBITDA was $11.6 million. Now, as of Q3, they're seeing 52% year-on-year revenue growth. However, year to date, they're seeing about 76% revenue growth. Now, their adjusted EBITDA is up over 159% year over year as of Q3. And year to date, They're up over 24.6 million compared to a negative 2.6 million as of last year. Now, this is really good to see as you're seeing really robust revenue growth above 50%, and they finally switched to having negative net income to being profitable. Now, they're seeing continued operational execution as you're seeing pretty consistent and stable growth in their sold and produced volumes. And on their price side, they're seeing a higher realized price with a lower production cost. So as we mentioned earlier, they raised $545 million in proceeds of a business combination, which lends to the pro forma net cash balance of $507 million. Now, the Stage 2 project remains on track for 2022. Their feed, or the front-end engineering design, is now complete. All circuit designs are complete, as well as a long lead procurement. Lastly, they signed a $9.6 million technology investment agreement with the Department of Defense to support Stage 2 capabilities. This is really good because it just shows that America really wants to have this company succeed, as they don't want such strong reliance on China. Now, to sum it all up, MP Materials' mission is to restore the full rare earth supply chain to the United States. Now, MP Materials has about 15% of this rare earth supply globally, and they believe that they have a really great green rare earth mining and processing operation. They have about $2 billion of capital invested in state-of-the-art production facilities, and their fully funded 3-stage strategy helps them be able to capitalize on this big opportunity. Now, they're owner-led, and they have a strong track record of execution, with earnouts uniquely structured for long-term value creation, which is always great to see as a shareholder. And lastly, they believe that their engineering and operations team has decades of rare earth expertise, and in just 2 years of restarting this facility, they're now producing world-class uptime and yields with industry-leading cost profile. So now we're just taking a more in-depth look at their P&L, so that we can see that in the 9 months ended in September 30th, in 2019, they're doing about $52 million, and as of 2020, they're doing about $92 million in revenue. Now, in 2020, they did see a large one-time settlement charge of over $66 million, which in turn made their net income negative. And we can see that their adjusted EBITDA is about $24 million after all these different adjustments are taken account of. So after understanding what this company is all about, I want to give my thoughts on this company. First off, let's talk about the good. Now, MP Materials is the only rare earth provider in the US. Now, the EV boom and political alignment is in favor of clean energy, which means the whole industry will get a boost. All EVs utilize rare earth materials in their motor. Now, MP Materials is a clear picks and shovel play. As the CEO stated in her interview, this is a selling shovels to miners play. You don't need to bet on which EV will be successful, just that the industry as a whole will grow exponentially and that MP will be the key supplier. Lastly, we have strong management backing them, as Chamath led the pipe into it. Now, on the flip side, let's talk about potentially bad things. Now, about 90% of processing is still done in China, and it's an essential step before the materials can be used in the final application. Now, MP Materials still has to send the rare earth elements to China to be processed and then be sent back. So there is still a big reliance on China. However, MP's CEO said that they plan on building up processing facilities, but no detail on the timeline, capacity, or what the risks are. Now on the valuation front, MP Materials is trading around a $5 to $6 billion market cap and just over $15 in net income, according to the latest quarterly report. Now these are pretty tiny profits with a high PE ratio in the raw materials industry. Now lastly, before MP, the company was Molly Corp, which went bankrupt. We need to ask ourselves, is it going to be different this time? Now for me personally, I think it will be different. Now, MP Materials has done a good job in expanding operations, and I believe that this time they'll be successful due to the booming EV sector. Now, China manipulated the price of rare earth, lowering it to the point that Molly Corp couldn't compete in the industry. It seems that MP has a government contract and that it may possibly attract EV companies for that reason, and I think the stock will continue to rally as this industry continues to grow. If they can get more contracts with the government or other EV vehicle manufacturers, then I believe MP has a really long runway of success. So what am I going to be doing with this stock? Well, I would love to build a position. However, I do think the stock is still a little bit overextended. So we can see that MP Materials was trading in this range of about $13 from September all the way till about November. Now, on November 17th, it shot up after Chamath announced that he was leading the pipe. And after that, it's been on a nice little run all the way into 2021. Now, it reached a high of about $40 and dropped back down to about under $30. And it's really been trading in this wedge ever since. Now, today was a nice little pullback as it dropped down to $30. However, for me, I would love to build a position around this $28 mark, as it would be touching its 55-day EMA. And as you can see on the MACD and RSI, it's looking to break out pretty soon. So to me, I think anything below $30 and above $28 would be a pretty solid buying point. And for me, that would be a great long-term hold. So that was my breakdown of MP Materials. I would love to hear what you guys think about this company, as well as what you guys plan on doing with this stock. Now, MP Materials has a great unrivaled value proposition as they become the leading player in the rare earth materials in North America. Now, I think they have a really good potential in the long term, as rare earth materials are being increasingly more important for a lot of different battery technologies. And as we've seen with the electrical vehicle market, there's been a lot of crazy demand in this space, which in turn leads to more demand for these rare earth materials. Now, one of the biggest risk factors right now is that China does have a monopoly in the space, and they still have to send their materials back to China for their production. However, I believe if they're able to bring back the production and refinement for the rare earth materials back into North America, like they projected it in 2022, I think they would have a great chance of having a monopoly of their own in North America. Now, MP Materials has a lot of potential, and with big name backers such as Chamath, I think it has a really good chance of continuing to depreciate over time. Now, the stock has seen an amazing run up in the past couple months, so I would love to see a healthy pullback for me to start building position in it. Well guys, thanks for sticking around. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video, and let's go get that bag.